Hello everyone and welcome back to another weekly altered video. We're finally jumping into the other the other supported format on BGA. No uniques, so we thought we'd do something a little bit outlandish, and we're back with Moyo and Silk, who, it turns out, might be a possible candidate for a no characters in the list type of deck. We all know what Moyo does. 39 cards, you're not allowed to have the pretty gold ones. And 37 of our cards are spells. We'll start at the bottom, because we can get through all of the permanents in one go. We're playing 2 copies of the Well of Tears. Anytime we play a spell with base cost 4 or more, character gets a boost. So you can play a 4-drop, make your 2/2/2 Moth, and then give it a boost. 4 mana, 3 stats, not the best, but we've got a semi-functional deck here that hopefully can get us a win, although it does have some issues. So a lot of standard cards in here. Rime Frosts is a 1 mana way to slow someone down. I think we'll be okay dropping that into an empty reserve for our opponent at points as well, because we're just not going to have anything to do, and we really want to protect that Moth token when we get it. Beauty Sleeps, Magical Trainings, off you goes. A lot of standard stuff in here. Winter Nova is our top end. 2 copies of the Conjuring Seal, because we don't want to be stuck with only being able to draw 3 cards, make a Moth too often. So we are splitting things a lot here. The ones that we're looking at, Field Reinforcements, just a cheaper than 4 way to make a token. Can put it down on the companion side as well, because we are running low on options for that. By my count here, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 cards out of 39 that can put something down on the companion side, so that's really low. We're going to be stuck playing to the hero side a lot, and if we fall behind, we're really going to struggle to catch back up, purely because if our opponent correctly identifies that we can only play stuff in the hero side, they can just stack the companion and trade 1 for 1 there. So in terms of cards that can actually still make tokens, we're probably running a bit low on that as well. So let's have a look. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 22, 28. 28 ways to make some form of token as a one-off is a bit rough. Pretty standard if you were running actual characters, but we can only do it once a turn. So if we play, for example, we've got 8 mana and we play a Moth to a Flame and a Freeze, we can only make the extra token once. We still get the tokens there, but yeah, like Freeze, Banish and Gate. Get rid of 2 things, put 2 power on the board, not fantastic. Mana Flare I'm interested in as well. We're running 3 of those to test it out, see how it is. Couple of sneaky things about it is that you can actually use it for your cheaper cards as well. So Mana Flare plus like Field Reinforcements, or Mana Flare plus Off You Go still gets you the token. So I thought, and it's a way to cheat Winter Nova into play a turn early as well. Conjuring Seal and Moth to a Spring cost 5 there, so if you play them when you're on 8 mana, you can go Conjuring Seal, Mana Flare, Conjuring Seal, draw a boatload of cards. Don't know if that's good, but we're testing it out. And Feast for Thoughts. So, doesn't make the Moth on the front end, does make one on the back end, makes a second one there too. Something to do on turn 1 if you're really struggling. And the other thing that we're thinking about turn 1 is the Moth to a Flame. So we're playing the rare version of that, just as a way to get more Moyo triggers out of the deck, but it notably can't be played on turn 1. So yeah, we're flush with the removal, flush with tokens, ways to draw cards, a couple of buildings in there that we can use to cry ourselves to sleep as well. Let's get into it. See you in match 1. And here we are. Welcome to no uniques and no characters. Round 1, we're playing first against Fanis and Senka. So, not a lot of spell recursion to think about out of our opponent. Let's see, what can we get away with here? Still a bit of a rough one. Mana Flare on next turn will let us get an extra Moth off of Feast for Thoughts, if we want to play it like that. Oh well, guess we'll play slow here. We'll just start with a basic old Feast for Thoughts and see what our opponent wants to do. We're probably going down one expedition. But we'll make our Moth anyway. Putting Feast for Thoughts into reserve early is cool. We'll see if we can get max value out of that. Mana Flare means we can do it next turn with no counters. And we're just going to keep going with the big spells actually. 4 mana. Beauty Sleep would have been good on the following turn. But we'll figure it out. Going down 0 for 1 on turn 1 ain't too bad. Not too stressed about that, but we'll have to try and find a way to claw back into this game. It's going to be volatile because not going to have anything to the board unless we make those Mana Moth tokens. Alright, Spindle Harvesters means that if we Conjuring Seal here, they're just going to block with the Baba Yaga. They might still be able to do that if they have something useful in hand, but we'll play the Mana Flare anyway. And we'll make a Moth on either side. It's going to pass. No arcane counter, but that's alright. We got more of them. We'll see if it comes up. It's kind of neat. Now they won't be able to advance with the Baba Yaga because of the expedition they're in. So maybe they just trade 1 for 1. I think that's a successful heist. Ah, off you go. Rough. Okay. Banishing Gate's probably worse than Moth Collision, given that we have a small chance in a few turns to be able to play it for cheaper. We'll hope we get a 1 drop off of this, which we do, Beauty Sleep. We'll make the Mana Moth, see what they want to do with the rest of their mana. Sleep the Baba Yaga, take our draw. Thankfully our opponent is playing slow. If they'd taken double advances here and there, we would be very far behind. But that's alright. We're doing something silly here. Okay, what are we going to do this turn? Could play a lot of small stuff here. Going to 6 mana is good. It means 2 drop plus 4 drop is live for us. Mana Flare is not fantastic with Moth Collision. Or any of the other spells that we have. But we'll get rid of the Off You Go, even though I think there's a claim that the Signet's worse here, if we want to look at the removal side of it anyway. Pretty flush with cards, getting rid of Off You Go is not a very high priority target. We're okay here, we'll Off You Go the Baba Yaga. Getting rid of the Harvesters might not have been such a bad shout either. We'll see what they want to play. Ripping another character off of the field. Like a 3/3 would be a big deal. With the Off You Go, we get our Moth. And then maybe something else as well. Spindle. Okay, 4 mana. We'll get rid of the Spindle with Fleeting, because it means they can't play out the Off You Go on anything valuable. And I think we're sort of just shoehorned into using our mana, play the Well of Tears, go down a bunch. But it's cool. Mage Dancer. Alright, what does that mean for us? Next turn, we're going to have 7 mana, which is, in fact, Moth Collision plus Mana Flare for Conjuring Seal. That leaves our Moth vulnerable to removal. Yeah, this one's pretty gone, but that's okay. Ah, interesting. They didn't want to draw the card there. Maybe we should have kept Beauty Sleep there, actually. 3 mana means we could have done something. And if we do want to play it out this way, we have to Flare for Seal. to maximize the amount of mana we save. These check reactions are weird, but I do like this card actually. I'm not too upset about this. Yeah, Mana Flare's been a big deal here. I don't know if we can fit it into the regular Moyo list, but it's not bad. So it means you can play a 7-drop on turn 4? Which is kind of cool. And we'll see what our opponent wants to do. Another spell gets them the draw off of the Mage Dancer. Off you go is obviously a big blowout. But that's the risk we run when the only characters we make are going to be the Moths. Oh, hate that for me. It's another look at off you go. Or Evanescence, or Yzmir Signet. Could be anything. Even a boat. And they just pass. They know they don't have to do much else here. Okay, Winter Nova could be big. And we have everything we want in hand, so magical training's not good as a bridger here. If they give us the opportunity, which they're going to have to, because Sap Infusion can't target anything with no targets. We'll Rime Frost the Sap Infusion. Then pay 4, reduce the cost by 3. 5. We'll just make them double sacrifice here. Obviously not massive characters. But we do get to draw our card. Make the Moth. We actually get 2 triggers for Well of Tears as well. So 2-drop plus 2-drop removal spell will win it for him here. Not that big an ask. So if we lose, at least we got to do something cool there. Do they have it? Who knows? They didn't. Successful heist. Can't do it again next turn though. Conjuring Seal, probably a little bit too far removed from being useful here. we could potentially Rime Frost the Sap Infusion straight away, just to dodge the sabotage here, but most of their creatures are going to be 3 or less anyway. So I think we start as slow as possible. 2 Moth to a Flames is interesting. But not what we want to do here, I think. One of our expeditions is ahead. So we'll just, we'll make a token and make them think about it. At the very least, we do have some form of answers. We can either Rime Frost or off you go as needed. Make the Moth, and then we'll buff the recruit token. Well of Tears plus field reinforcements is Mana Moth at home. So Disciple plus 2 1-drops, or Sleep does it for him. Beauty Sleep, or another off you go. Sad. Came close, made a game of it in the end. Only ended up losing 2 expeditions, and that Winter Nova turn was spicy. Big fan of that one. But yeah, lost to start. Ain't too mad about that. That was fun. Surprisingly fun, actually. You should play this deck. Alright. On to game 2. And we're back for game 2. Soy and milk. Nope, not this time. No characters. Let's see if we can get on the board in game 2 with this one. Deck moved okay. Played a bit slow. Obviously, only playing out the Moth tokens on the hero side makes our turns really easy to play around for our opponent. Not that they know we're not playing any characters, but realistically I think we only have a few ways to get characters onto the companion side. Rime Frost isn't interesting on turn 1, not as interesting as Magical Training, and then we've got the option of Well of Tears, Yzmir Signet. Don't have Feast for Thoughts, but we're playing first, so it's not fantastic here. Don't know about that card. Perhaps the rare version would have been better, but that's not what we're running at the moment. Start slow, see what our opponent wants to get done. Yzmir Signet might be a big deal. If we can trade that for a 2-drop, we're probably okay doing that. However, a 3-drop means we're going down 1 for nothing anyway. Go away error messages, we'll draw a card. Field reinforcements, that ain't bad, Chief. Green-brown is good. Means they're disincentivized to play out the Will-o'-the-Wisp on that side. 2 Well of Tears is interesting as well. I don't think we're going to take the whole turn off in order to do that. But we'll see what our opponent wants to accomplish first. We got options here. We could play egregiously slow, 2 Well of Tears, take a 0 for 2. Aloe Vera. I think we will take our opportunity here. Drop a Well of Tears and then field reinforcements just so we can stay in the game. Rare version of field reinforcements in Yzmir, the colour shifted one, still has fleeting, like the common version in Ortis. So we're not going to have to get rid of anything from reserve here. Notably a bad character to target with Beauty Sleep as well. The Aloe Vera is, still get the resupply off of it, so we'd rather try and remove that if we can. Yzmir Signet does not do that. So we'll get rid of the Beauty Sleep here. Merry Reunion ain't nothing for our opponent. Let's see what they want to accomplish as well. What are we going to get done here? So we could Signet, force them to play something else out if they want to take a 2 for nothing. The Will-o'-the-Wisp obviously won't let them advance here, but they do have 4 mana available still. We could Mana Flare Freeze. That works well with our Well of Tears, because if we get rid of the Aloe Vera, we get 4 power on that side. Which beats the Will-o'-the-Wisp. Get our Moth. Buff twice. Hopefully trade 1 for 1. Depending on what our opponent can do. Off you go in a 2-drop, obviously Mercs us, same as the previous game. Though they do have to play that at rare if they want to. Lyra Aerialist. That makes me sad. One, two, three. Don't think that's luck from our opponent. Adding the terrain marker, I believe you're guaranteed to get 1 single terrain marker on each of these expeditions, so if both sides have advanced to look at everything, you actually just have that as an option. What are we discarding from mana here? I think it's Feast for Thoughts. Six mana means 2 drop plus 4 drop. Not many cards would have got them to an extra advance there, so the Aerialist is a bit of a rough sell for us. Good sell for our opponent. Okay. Off you go as the hit here, I believe. Does this deck need Bravo Signets? Bit of ramp might be good. And the Ink Caster. That's fine, we'll just off you go once more. I think if I had take backsies, I would have done that with the Signet. We'll let him put the Aerialist back in hand, because now we're one less card that can deal with the Aerialist, actually. So yeah, using the Signet there would have been a better idea, but small misplay. Obviously that's going to come up next turn, but we get one back. What would we like to see? Probably didn't want to see what we got, but that's fine. We can Rime Frost Well Seal here. That'll get us to 4 power. Still doesn't block the Aerialist. Still going to hit the Inkcaster early, as much to curtail that support ability, as much as actually playing out the actual character. Now, if they want to play something else out, they're going to have to get rid of something from reserve, unless they have another Inkcaster in hand. Map Maker. Not much else we can do. So we had the option to either freeze or Signet here, and both achieve the same thing. So it puts the token into play either way, plus gets us the boosts. However, we know that they've got the answer to this in hand already, so rather than getting rid of this Martingale, that doesn't necessarily matter. At least we'll make them play it out. We can start trying to squeeze on the number of cards they have. So they've got to put out 4 characters in order to win here. I'm going to get rid of a couple of things. We are sort of set up, you know. The Well of Tears have been doing work for us here. Never really seen that interaction with Mana Flare either, where you can get bonus boosts. Would like to see one of those now. But it's cool. We cool. Off you goes good. Deals with the aerialist. Freeze deals with something else. Makes a token. Probably keep that over the banishing gate in this situation. And then we always have the option to just draw a thick wad of cards as well. Can't use all our mana unless we don't Beauty Sleep, so Rime Frost, off you go. Seal/freeze is 8 mana. So we're basically... I don't even know what, hoping that they only play 2 characters out on this side. Interesting choice. Well, off you go, the aerialist. If I were my opponent here, I'd have been playing out everything on the companion side, because there you can see if they have another character in hand, we're kind of just stuffed. But if we can dodge another character, we still can Beauty Sleep what it is that they play. Give us the Moths. We've not really drawn anything that makes us a bunch of Moths either, which is kind of sad. Why do we have to pick May? It's a May ability, that's why. We'll sleep this cheeky little guy. And if they have another character, they have another character. That's okay. Rats. That's alright. There was a non-0% chance they didn't have anything else, but GG to our opponent. Fell a little too far behind there, but that's okay. A Winter Nova there would have been proper zesty. That's okay. On to game 3. And we're back for game 3. Still not on the board, but a couple of little interesting tidbits to take out of this list. And let's look at our hand here. Alright, punished for not playing the common Moth to a Flame. Can't do that next turn. What are we doing on turn 1? I think we do it like this. We take our medicine. We actually get a token from our opponent on turn 2 in the companion side, which is mucho apreciado. And we'll see. Alright, Cuckoo. Alright, that's going to be 3 power. We'll have 3 power with the Moth plus Well of Tears, so if they tap out, we know what we can do. Drowsy Dodo into Mana Flare. And I'm going to discard the Cuckoo here. Going to make them lose their Drowsy before we choose what to do. That's weird. I'm just going to give one boost to both things. Why is it repeating it? Who knows? Not me. But let me keep picking the sleep thing. And we're ahead for the first time ever in this video. Requiem for the Well of Tears is probably a good shout for them. Alright, that makes that decision easy. 2 magical trainings. See what they want to accomplish with the rest of their turn after that. Three mana remaining. We can get 4 power in there. So I guess we're better off playing the Moth Collision. That leaves us 2 ahead instead of 1 ahead with the Flame. So we'll tap, make our Moth and see what they want to achieve. Ain't too stressed about that. Use 2 of our answers for the Cuckoo already, but Banishing Gates will do it. Off to a Spring does it as well, draws us a card. Is that better than Flame? So Flame will put 3 power into the companion side, blocks the Cuckoo. Only a common Cuckoo this time, which is interesting. And I think our choice is between Spring and Flame. I like the idea of drawing a card, but if we see what they do on their first play, we can flexibly play Flame and Off You Go here, both of which get sent to reserve. Magical Training is going to have to go away in that situation. Being 1 behind, adding 1 to their board. Will even it up for us. If they play out the Pelican, they can still play out the Cuckoo once we Off You Go it. Now they're in a sticky spot because they can give the Cuckoo Anchored, give it a boost. It's the common version, so we didn't have to worry about ramping them there. Then we've got to figure out what we're doing next turn. So Moth to a Flame plus Off You Go itself is just 7 mana. So we can put one of the cards we draw in on without worrying too much. Pacify is a good one. I would have liked to keep the Off You Go in hand to see that guy, but didn't have the opportunity. We'll keep the Off You Go now that we've seen it. Can hit either one of their characters. And we're not going to get an opportunity to Off You Go the Pacify here. Just draw a card. Rime Frost ain't bad, means we can still play the Off You Go after, or the Signet. And then at least we'll get a token on the field, depending on where they want to play stuff out. Likely going to be a 1 for nothing here. We'll see what they want to accomplish with their remaining mana. They just pass. I will take the woolly back you give me and advance. Alright, now we're threatening a win. We'll get rid of the Rime Frost. Six, 7 plus 2 is 9. Might be a bit late for the Well of Tears here, although trading that for a Requiem might be enjoyable. We'll just start with the Moth. If they want to, they can unsleep their Dodo. I think they're incentivized to here. And we may or may not run into the difficulty with this deck, which is that closing out games is going to be difficult because we find it hard to stack one side with power. Ahead on both, they've got 4 mana. Okay, bait is an absolute blowout for our deck. I get why they're playing it. Still allowed to be annoyed. And then we'll pass the turn here. I'm not going to play into a second copy of bait. Or play around it, I guess. And what are we better off doing here? We can make another moth. We can make 2 more moths so we can get rid of their dodo. Perhaps I should have held off on making the moth there. We knew we had an opportunity to make another one later. Plays around bait a little bit, but they don't have it. Watch me be wrong. Yeah, it's cool. They got 7 mana. So we're likely stuffed here, but at least their dodo isn't awake. Amazing. Ah well. GG, they had it. Yeah, it turns out 3 mana, steal 3 of your creatures is a very powerful card. Likely why they gated it behind the token class there, but that's what happens. We were well set up and then got proper blown out. No uni. There you go. Alright. We got swept. Lucky it's not the playoffs. 03. Let's go to the closing notes. I will see you there. Talk soon. Might take a breather after that one. Damn. Alright, 3 games done. 03, including a proper blowout there with the baits from our opponent. Obviously they're making tokens, so they're going to be able to use that one pretty well themselves, but we sort of just tied our game plan perfectly to get steamrolled there. Happens. That's okay. We were looking good in that game. We did have some things going as well. Match 1 we only lost by two advancements, and you know, 3rd game if they didn't have the baits we were actually winning there, so that could have been gone very different if they didn't have that one. But yeah, deck's fun. Moyo's always fun to play. I don't know why. Were I to change anything about this deck, I would probably go down to the common Moth to a Flames just as a way to put a token on the field and challenge on turn 1. Pretty good if you go on 2nd. Not ideal if you go on 1st, but that's fine. And Mana Flare was the real big winner here. I really liked that spell and the way it interacted with the Well of Tears, actually. Getting 2 procs on there and putting the Moth onto the field, pretty zesty. So that might be an avenue as well if you're looking into this. 3 Mana Flares, 3 Well of Tears, just so you're seeing that interaction, because it's technically speaking mana positive, I guess, if you've got 2 tears out. Have the tier on the field, play the flare, play 4-drop off the back of it, puts a token on the field, and then it's 4 triggers for Well of Tears. I kind of like that. But yeah, deck was cheeks today. That's alright. Didn't really get a chance to showcase Feast of Thoughts as a way that I would hope. Um, Maybe there's a bit of anti-synergy there with the Mana Flare because you want to accumulate, but if you've got other things to do, I can see those two being pretty zesty. Conscription isn't good. Field and Reinforcements feels okay. I think it's a necessary evil in this list, and you're playing far enough behind that you can probably get away with playing them. Not the best card though, in general. And yeah, there you go. Moyo and Silk. We have finally dipped our toes into no uniques. I suppose the next one I'd want to play would be Akesha and Taru, potentially. We did play that one previously when other people were allowed to play uniques. It was a fun deck to play, but we don't have Celebration Day anymore, so who knows if that deck's still even real. But yeah, hope you had fun. I've had fun playing it. Don't know if my ranking points or whatever they are on Altered can handle playing much more of this list, but I may actually put a couple of Mana Flares and go higher on the Well of Tears in my constructed list. So yeah, learnt something today. Winter Nova's still the best thing to be doing at 8 mana. Alright, thanks for your time. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, love your work.